All right, getting everything set up here, guys. First time, I think, actually bringing in all of overlays, alerts, everything into YouTube. So bear with me just a second, and we'll go on live. We'll see everything, hopefully. But bringing in all the whiz-bang features from Twitch basically into YouTube's been interesting, to say the least. How's sound, by the way? And I think everything should be pretty solid here, guys. Should have a little bit of ambient sound, but nothing too crazy on the background, and then my voice on top of it. But I got some really interesting things for today. Let's go ahead, go live here. All right, here we go. On the desktop. Oh my gosh, YouTube live streams. I remember why I switched to Twitch for the longest time. Their interface, way smoother, streamlined, I'd say, but I'm getting used to this. I really felt, I'll address that first off out of here. I've live streamed for the past year and a half on Twitch, doing tech shows and that type of thing, and I just decided to end it as Twitch is for gaming, and it's just always going to be like that, and it's a platform that I don't see very much growth on these days, to say the least. So YouTube is where I will live stream from now on, probably at least one a week. I wanted to do today's stream because I ran into something really interesting that I thought I wanted to show everybody, and I wanted to do it live because it's basically a desktop environment that, it's basically a modified GNOME desktop environment that looks very similar to what I've running. I've told everyone I've done Awesome Window Manager for a while now, and Awesome Window Manager is great, and the theme I use for it is also fantastic. But needless to say, that lead developer that designed what I use on a daily basis has moved on, and he took a lot of the stuff I use on a daily basis and made basically his own modified GNOME desktop environment. I want to just tell you it's an extension, but at the same time, not really. I mean, it does a lot of stuff. It's still in beta. It's on GitHub, so everyone can try it. You could follow along for this video and do it. Yeah, and a couple cool little metrics here. This thing down here where it says project, if you have a question, if you super chat, whatever it might be, we're gonna do Q&A after it, but I'm trying to stay on task here and actually show people. So also, if you need to rewind or watch this afterwards, it's gonna live on the Titus Tech Talk channel. So that's it links in the description. I think I'd call it like Chris Titus Tech Streams or something down below, but if you need to refer back to this, just know that that's it. So if you do have a question, I will answer it here in a bit, but save them for a little bit as well. How about DWM? Oh boy, TV heater. I love DWM, but needless to say, this, I wanted to be something more for the masses, something that everyone can do, hopefully. Now, I haven't actually technically done this yet, so I decided the last YouTube live stream I did, it was about a year ago. I think we had like a couple hundred people, and I was drinking and installing Debian, and it was a big disaster, and it took like 5 hours or something. So to honor that memory of that terrible live stream, we're gonna install vanilla Debian first. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. We're gonna pop over on the desktop and get going with this. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. So, all right. Just pull out chat just in case somebody says something in chat. I'm probably gonna miss it anyways. You guys know how I am about chat, but I have it. Clear Linux install. You're funny, Sebastian. You're funny. All right. So let's go over to our desktop. And we're on what you guys have seen in every video for pretty much the past year. I mean, I don't think, have I even changed anything in the past year? I think I've been rocking Awesome Window Manager forever, just because I love it so much. And I probably will continue. But this is a viable alternative that I think everyone can pretty much use. So let's go ahead and start our installation. I'll take a little questions here once the installation goes off, because we're gonna have a little bit of a wait. I'm gonna be using boxes for this. We're gonna use that as the front end, QEMU is the back end. If we run into a problem with boxes, we'll switch over to Virt Manager, but I think we'll be fine here. So let's go ahead and launch our new virtual machine. We're gonna pretend like we're installing fresh from here, so this is gonna be fun. Oh boy. I have had a couple drinks, Bob, so that's entirely a possibility. It's gonna be fun. It's like Arch all over again. If anybody's been following the channel since 1,000 subscribers, I got toasted from a Christmas party and decided to install Arch Linux. Oh my god, it was a blast. It was so much fun. So we're gonna do that again. And you know what? I'm looking at this, and when I look at the actual desktop, I'm like staring at the side of my screen. We gotta fix that. I'm gonna just we're gonna do some of that. All right, because I'm not gonna be staring at my stream box. By the way, streaming PC all in Linux, love it. It's amazing. Still working out some of the kinks for the past year, but it has been a blast just streaming using the Linux box. So, all right, here we go. Let's go Debian Live. We're gonna do Debian 10.5. We're gonna use the Gnome non-free ISO. If anybody has ever installed Debian, you'll know right off the get-go. This is, well, Debian's really, just downloading the ISO is a challenge. So I went ahead and downloaded the ISO so people don't have to struggle through that, see me struggle through finding the proper ISO. But that's the ISO I'm using for this. So we're gonna go ahead, boot in here and see what we get. And we're gonna just try and see how it goes. I'm thinking that this will have gotten a lot better since the first time we installed Debian. But yeah, no, I'm really, one thing I will say about this is every live stream now, I'm just gonna do YouTube. If you see me on Twitch, it's because I'm gaming, which I don't really ever do much for actually gaming live streams, as I just, nobody wants to see me play games. Or very few people, I should say. But yeah, so this is actually the first time I've actually done Debian Buster. The first 6 months of 2019, from January all the way, I think, to about July, I was running Debian, and I think it was Debian, not Debian SID, really. So it was pretty much bleeding edge right into the Buster release was what I was using for quite a while. So you'd like to see me play Hollow Knight? Yeah, that was fun, man. I love platformers. I'm looking forward to the sequel of Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight was just such a blast. Me and my kids played that all the time. Had such a fun time. Is this PCI pass-through, or is it just straight up GPU emulation? Nothing like that. A lot of people ask me this question, so I guess I should address it why we're setting this machine up. Every video I do typically is on bare metal. So this live stream, I wanted to roll the dice, I guess, and just throw it in a VM, even though I don't really use VMs that much. But for this, I wanted to just say, hey, let's go ahead and try, boxes for a second and just set up a sample environment. Most of my videos, though, when it comes to Windows, that's its own computer. When it comes to Linux, that's its own computer. And when it comes to Mac, that's its own computer. Everything's installed bare metal. Pretty much every video you see, I'm working off bare metal. I rarely ever use a VM just because you lose some performance, you lose some things that kind of suck. So we'll see how this goes. It should have popped up something by now. So, all right, here we go. Let's see what we get. Install Debian. Look at that. All right, let's see if we botch this or not. I bet we do. When I say we, I really mean me. All right, we're gonna go. What was this zone? I always just say Chicago. Tomorrow's video too, by the way, guys, it's gonna be fun. Don't hate on me for it, but I did a little post, and I'll show it here in a second. And you guys are gonna love the thumbnail for tomorrow's video. All right. It looks like they've really revamped everything from the when we installed Buster or Debian last time. We'll just say Titus. We'll call this Titus VM and password. Let's do something super easy. Oops. I always like 4 digits. All right, log in automatically. Sure, why not? Summary install. I remember last time we did it. This whole process took 3 hours. It was crazy. It was nuts. Let's see if we can beat it in 5 or 10 minutes. Oh, you know what? I need to try Cuphead, Peter. I don't even think I've bought Cuphead, which is hilarious. I haven't actually bought a game in about a year or so. But yeah, tomorrow's video, I'm actually doing something funny. The title of the video, and you guys are gonna just die. You might flame me in chat. That's okay. I live for the hate. The hate comments on YouTube are amazing. But I do love starting up a little controversy, and I thought, why not? Let's go ahead and title tomorrow's video, Why Linux Isn't for Everyone, or is not for everyone. I forget exactly how it was. I think YouTube titles hate any type of apostrophes. And while I love Linux, I use it as my daily driver. I love everything about it. A lot of times, I think I get a little overzealous and tell everyone to use Linux. And for some people, that just doesn't make sense for them. And it's gonna be a fun video tomorrow. You guys will see the thumbnail and go, oh boy, what did I step in? Because it is it's gonna be something where I just got real with some folks, because some people just don't want to learn a new operating system, and some people are really tied to legacy software. So I wanted to make it real abundant. If you want to try Linux, I recommend everyone trying Linux, but by all means, it's sometimes a little bit of a fun adventure, and sometimes people go into it with the wrong expectations. Like, they expect 100% of their games to play. They expect to use Adobe products. They expect to use Microsoft Office. So you're gonna hear me say all that stuff tomorrow. But I do also show all the alternatives in the video. So it's not all just me bashing. It's not, I don't really do the bashing videos much anymore. Any chance for a KVM host system that passes through all the hardware to a subsystem like Linux and Mac? Sebastian, this is a good question. So I did a PCI pass-through video a while back. Actually, a whole series. I think it was about two or three videos about PCI pass-through. And it's possible. And you can do it. So there's a couple different ways. For the normies out there, I would say Unraid is the easiest way. I think even Linus Tech Tips did a video on Unraid. I hate Unraid. I would never recommend Unraid. Even though I think their PR department's hilarious. And I love them for that aspect of things. I think he even said never use Unraid, and they responded with on Twitter, they responded with like an emote from Chris Farley just looking down at the ground, and I was like, oh, at least they got a sense of humor. So if you want to try something like that, Unraid for most people would be sufficient. However, I know what you're asking, Sebastian. You want real world performance. You want your Linux desktop environment, and then you want to launch right into a Windows machine on the same one and utilize all this extra hardware that you have specifically for Windows that's dedicated to that VM. And in that regard, yes, much like everything in technology, I always tell people this: anything can be accomplished with enough time and resources. So those are really the only two factors to make things work in technology. Nothing's impossible. But, and this is a big but, when it comes to PCI pass-through, I never recommend it to anybody. I stopped making videos about it, mainly because it is a pain for a lot of users and a lot of people to set up. And I went through a huge setup with it on one PC, where it took like 7 hours just to figure out that my motherboard was not really compatible because it lumped a bunch of devices in the same IOMMU groups. All the workarounds online, I think even Wendell at Level 1 Techs even made like a little workaround to try and split out those IOMMU groups. I even used that to try and split those out, but to no avail. It did change the groups and it did split out some of it, but it still lumped too many, specifically the PCI ports for GPU pass-through together into one group, which we all know that GPU needs to be in its own group so we can isolate it to the VM. And it just got way too complex. So yeah, that's how it goes. But Earl, how's my weekend going? Going well, Earl. Loving the return to YouTube live streaming from old Twitch. I thought, hey, why not? I saw, what was it, one of the biggest Twitch streamers, Dr. Disrespect, live streamed on YouTube, and I was like, that is insane, to like 500,000 people. And I was like, all right, what am I doing on Twitch? This is just a complete waste of time. Much like installing Debian on Gnome boxes. Look at that, installation failed. Ah, you stay classy. All right, we're... I love it. All right, we're gonna just go ahead. We're not gonna use this machine for virtualization. That's all right, guys. We've got a backup plan. We're gonna use Proxmox. This is not on the same machine. It might be a little slower. Maybe it's faster. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. We got some other stuff. We're gonna create another VM, but this one's not gonna be localized. So we're just gonna call this Debian and start out this way. God, I love it. Debian failed again. What are the odds? What are the odds of that? I want to know. Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding. Wipe the drive. You know, if this doesn't work, I might just say, hey, this is my first time back on YouTube. I'm just gonna wipe my whole system back to Debian. Because right now, I am running... What am I on here? Let's break down what's on the studio PC real fast, because I am just having a heck of a time, I tell you. All right, so we have Linux Mint on this machine. This is what I'm rocking on my studio machine. We got a RX 580 Ryzen 7 2700. Really good budget PC. I got this for 130 bucks. Actually, I think the combo with the motherboard I got for 180 altogether, which is actually pretty solid. As far as discs, we have a lot of discs. I don't even remember what all I have on here. Let's do a sudo blkid. It's looking like we might actually need to just wipe this out and start from scratch, guys. Oh, I didn't want to do that on the stream, but we may not have a choice, because I really want you guys to see this new desktop environment and what it's rocking. All right, let's see here. Got a data drive, which I also did a live stream where I wiped that out. That was fun. And a whole bunch of other stuff on here. I can't remember what all I have. That's XFS partition. Yeesh, I should label some of these. I have my home partition. Oh, you know what? I think SDC is my main. And that's the data. That's the home. That's my games. And that's also data. Oh, you know what? I think these are ZF. Oh, those are better FS mirrored. Okay, so SDD and SDE are both the same drive mirrored. Yeah, anybody that's seen me on a live stream, I usually like to break things and just kind of go off in a direction that start with an idea and then just kind of go all at that idea and just see where we end up, because that's where all the magic happens, right? The exploration in Linux is really the thing I love the most about it, because I can always learn something new on pretty much every installation, which is great. All right, so let's first see if we need to actually wipe out the studio PC. because it is not pulling in my ISOs on Proxmox. Oh, man. Come on. Oh, all right. We might be doing that. Maybe not. Let's see. Let's see if I can't fix this up real fast, guys. If you're not familiar with Proxmox, it's a way to virtualize and get that going. Write it down before you reboot. I don't write anything down before I reboot and reload a system. I like to just shoot from the hip. It's where all the entertainment is. All right, coming back into here. Let's see. It looks like it's not authenticating to this ISO. So what's happening right now is I'm trying to grab this ISO store that I've set up, and it's not reading anything from that ISO store. So let's see what we can do. Probably from this level, should be able to go into storage or maybe even disks. Let's see. Bummer. What do you guys say? What are we thinking? Let's just forget it. We're gonna wipe out the whole system. I've been rocking this system for a while now, a whole month. Let's load it. Let's just do it live. All right, let's make an ISO on bare metal. Who cares? That'll be fun. We're gonna wipe it all out. We're just gonna destroy. That's what I gotta say. I see a comment. I'm scrolling a little fast here, but I do see a comment about NVIDIA. Don't use NVIDIA with Linux. It's just not fun. If you do use NVIDIA, that's fine, but you probably want a stable release. I know like Manjaro and stuff have things, but I just hate everything, how it hooks into the kernel. That's just not as much fun. So, all right. This one's going to be SDF, and if we do an ls from our downloads, you'll see I already have some stuff in my downloads. Where's Debian? All right, so we're going to do a disk destroyer if for input file, and the input file is going to be downloads, Debian live, and with tab autocomplete. Output file will be equal to dev and SDF, and we're going to do a block size equal to 1 megabyte, and status equals progress to see where we're at. So this is the sample disk destroyer. It helps if you do that as sudo, which, you know me, sometimes I'm not exactly sudo inclined. RMRF. Yeah. Getting a new laptop, almost forced to use NVIDIA. Yeah, if you are an NVIDIA user, Sebastian, I do really like the iterations of all of the new Ubuntu 20 based distributions are great. Linux Mint 20, Pop OS, man, you can't go wrong. I love specifically both Pop OS and Linux Mint have the toggle to switch between the hybrid graphics, so you can say, hey, I want most of my system to run on integrated graphics, but let's say you launch a game, you can toggle that hybrid graphics on. That's something kind of relatively new, and it's really great to see that functionality really kind of come into their own. Can you drop your system ISO? So yeah, a lot of people ask me about making like Titus OS or something like that, and I don't really want to distribute an ISO. I'm a firm believer, and I get asked about support and actually doing a lot of tech stuff for folks. And I still have a day job, guys. You know, I still do that. And I'm trying to say a nice way of saying this is probably just to give you a proverb or something of that nature, something to go off of. And it goes, you know, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. And what I'm trying to do with my YouTube videos is teach everyone to fish, because sometimes if I just distribute an ISO, I feel like I'm adding to the problem, where if I teach someone how to modify whatever distribution they end up on, I don't care which one you're choosing, I want you to be able to change it to your needs. And by saying, hey, here's what I use, here's how I use it, that's all well and good. But as soon as I start packaging all that up and just saying, here's a nice ISO for you to use, it becomes just another distribution, even if it is labeled whatever, you know? So that's why I don't package my own distribution. I really, really want to teach people to be more self-sufficient, more into the modular realm. It really learn aspects of Linux and Windows and Mac, all of that. I really, there's so much that people miss when they use their operating system. You know, a lot of people think it's all about that. The user base between Linux, Mac, and Windows is pretty much the same, to be honest with you. I get asked some of the most asinine things. So here's an example, and this is actually kind of funny, and I'm going to use a Windows example just because, well, Windows is easy to pick on. But I get an email today, and if you're in the audience, I am sorry, I'm not going to use your name. But I get an email today, and I respond, you know. Sometimes I respond to emails, sometimes I don't. But I respond to an email, and the email goes something like this. Hey, what are your recommendations for Windows 7? And I was like, no, that's my recommendation. It's just no. Use Hackintosh, use Windows 10, use Linux. Do not use Windows 7. And this guy responds back. He's like, yeah, I know people say don't use Windows 7. I'm like, dude, it's pretty much the exact same thing as Windows 10. It has telemetry. It's even more bulky and just nasty in today's climate. And then he responds back. He's like, well, mine's still pretty clean. And I'm like, what? He hasn't patched Windows 7 since 2015 because it slows down his system. And I'm just like, oh, no, you did not. I immediately responded back. I was like, hey, you're running an unpatched Windows 7 from 2015. A script kiddie could hack you in 1 minute. Every single version of ransomware is based off an NSA tool developed in 2017 that will exploit your system. Literally do not connect that system to the internet. I was floored. I was like, this guy is using a 5-year-old Windows 7 unpatched system, and he's asking for recommendations. I was like, there's nobody that would possibly ever do that. Like, no, that is so dumb. So anyways, no names, but I get those emails on occasion. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Thank you so much for the super chat. Meska, $50. Much appreciated. Oh my God. So yeah. So if you are on Windows 7, you don't want to use Linux, by all means, you don't have to. Use Hackintosh, use Windows 10 and strip out whatever it is. I don't care what you use. Just for the love of God, do not use Windows 7. Unpatch Windows 7 at the least. Yikes. All right. That's enough. I had to go off on that rant because I had to tell somebody, and for all you in the audience, I just had to tell you guys. That was just something that I was just so floored by today's email on that. I'm doing this all on USB 2, by the way. This image of a 3 gigabyte file should not take this long. Do I have a 3? I have a USB 3 somewhere. Let's. Well. All right. Well. Oh well. We'll just chat during the downtime of this slow load. Okay, so I downloaded one of yours debugging for Windows first time boot up debugging script. I don't know how to get my stuff back. How it was, I built my very first gaming PC. I want to answer two questions here. Once, I'm going to answer the debugging script, and then I'm going to answer this guy that spammed it 4 times. Don't spam. Don't be that guy that spams 4 times, but I did see your comment. So I don't want to encourage spamming. Recommending Brave. I want to answer that. I want to just take that on because so many people hate on Brave, and I get it. I totally get it. So first off, the debugging script from Windows. I highly recommend forking my project. That was a system admin script and a debloat script together, and I want you to change some of that PowerShell script. Read through it at the very start of it, and actually I'll go ahead and pull it up here so you can actually see and not have me just explain it while that USB drive is being made. Because this is something that is pretty darn cool. So let's Windows 10 script right here. Pull up the debloat PS1 script. This is the one that you should be running. But what this is this tweaks this little subroutine at the start here. Don't be intimidated by it. This right here is where all the good stuff is. Everything below it, these are just calling those little subroutines below it. But these things just tell you what's happening. It says, hey, this is disabling Adobe Flash. If you want to change that, you just simply comment it out with a little hash sign and then put enable Adobe Flash. The big things where people get in trouble when they are editing scripts is they don't pay attention to the syntax. Every single one of these lines, there's a quote, the actual thing that's happening, another quote, and then a simple comma. And that's all you need to follow in the syntax. Every line should only have those two quotes and then the comma. Everything else should be hash sign and commented out. And obviously, where the hash sign is, everything after it is not done. So if you want to leave this in, you just take that, paste it over. Now, let's say you've already run the script and it's already done the thing you didn't want it to do. So a good example of this is, let's say Internet Explorer is probably another one that I think a lot of people, I think I got a couple emails about Internet Explorer getting that done. You can actually come into here and run a PowerShell command to re-enable Internet Explorer. So you can even type re-enable. Internet Explorer PowerShell. And then it usually spits out one command. Usually, let's see. Let's just take the top result because usually that's it. So turn on Internet Explorer in PowerShell. So just boom, right there, at the very bottom, option 4. So you just take this entire command and paste that in there, and that would re-enable Internet Explorer. Learn to use your operating system. That's the big thing. I use those scripts to help folks, but at the same time, there's certain things it does where most people won't need, but there's a couple that do. So, fun fact. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is Brave, and our USB drive's done. Let's just leave it in. Let's reboot this thing and start loading. But we'll talk about Brave, why this Debian loads as well. This right here is awesome window manager, and we're about to wipe the whole thing out. Again, all this hard work on the studio PC of the past month will be lost because I didn't properly test my VMs prior to. All right, man. I told you not to spam. You're getting hid. You're going to be put in timeout. Bad. Don't spam the channel. Don't be that guy. Oh, I tell you. Also, I want to tell folks, don't put links in your comments on the YouTube. It just gets sucked into the YouTube stuff. So don't put URLs, unless it's something like a GitHub project. Typically, it's just going to get filtered out. So let's reboot this thing and start loading. Yeah. I mean, don't ever worry about angering me. Like everyone's always a little bit over fragile about that stuff, but I have very thick skin. You're not gonna make me angry by saying something. I love all feedback. That's the beauty of YouTube, is you get a ton of feedback. You will get more feedback than you know what to do with, which is fantastic. But at the same time, it can also, it's not for the thin-skinned out there, because it'll make you cry yourself to sleep if that were the case. There's some pretty brutal comments. All right, let's load this up. And I will talk about Brave. I'm still going to talk about that. Haven't forgotten. You guys won't let me forget either. So, Brave. Brave browser. It's what I recommend. It's what I use. It's what I love. I use it for the sync service. I use the nightly version for that. It's fantastic for me. And I always say for me because that means I don't say, hey, everyone should use it because lordy, then there'll be, you know, the internet. But Brave, let's tackle some of the criticisms it gets. It does have a backed cryptocurrency. And whenever you say cryptocurrency, immediately everyone thinks scam. So that's just part of the life we live in. And there has been a ton of scams in cryptocurrency. And honestly, that's what you should be thinking when you hear cryptocurrency. Just because, well, that's just kind of the world we live in right now. What happened to my screen? Is it coming back? All right, there it is. I was about to say, come on. Don't you do this to me, Debian. Not again. I love you. Don't do this. But so tackling that aspect of it, it's based on cryptocurrency. Creators, it's super cool. Why so many pedal Brave or recommend Brave is because whenever you can tip people with that cryptocurrency and people will get paid. Like I get like $100 or $200 a month off of Brave users, which is amazing. Almost every cryptocurrency or any creator really will get that in cryptocurrency. Some people don't know what to do with it, but for the most part, people will tip in Brave, which is why so many people love it. However, we need to tackle how that happens. They do some things people don't like. And those specific things are, I'm just gonna get my displays going here. Trying to do two things at once, it's gonna end in disaster. I guarantee you, I'm gonna wipe out this machine and lose all of my data backups in games. I know I'm gonna do it. All right, let me hit display. Where are you at, display? Displays. We're gonna mirror. All right, here we go. We're coming in. There we go. Keep changes. And now we can go to install Debian. All right. So there's that you should know. Like as soon as you click a referral link, I think I get paid like $2 in fees or whatever it is, the referral thing that Brave gives you, the BAT it's called. But you can turn all that off on Brave. I turn all mine off. You can turn yours off if you don't want that. But it will block all ads and put its own ads in front of it, which is kind of crazy. And for that, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go here with this. Oh, all right, 1 second. Pause on the thought. We're gonna install this because I gotta do a manual partition. Absolute concentration right now on manual partitioning. Don't let me lose my place on the Brave thing. I wasn't done with that at all. All right, so I have 5 hard drives in this studio PC. This is BetterFS. This one is XFS. This one is ext4, and this one is BetterFS. Because why not? Why not make this the most complicated install ever? All right, we're gonna, yeah, let's launch terminal real fast just to see what is what. We're gonna go, oh lordy, that terminal, Gnome terminal. What are you doing with your default settings, man? Ouch, that is just brutal. Yikes. All right, let's fix some of these. Jeez, nobody can see that. Like, who in their right mind would use Gnome terminal default settings? That is just terrible. All right, sorry, we're fixing that. All right, let's see what we got here. BLK ID. All right, Pseudo BLK ID. All right, here we go. So SDD and SDD, or SDD, SDE are the BetterFS data drives. So don't nuke those. SDF is the USB drive. SDC is our existing Linux drive that we're going to nuke. SDB is our home drive. And SDA is our games. All right, I think we got this. All right, we got it. So on SDC. Oh, Lord. I'm going to get ill. I hate doing it. I hate doing manual, but we're going to do manual. Because I don't think very many people actually do manual, but we're going to do it anyways. All right, new partition. Going to do GPT. Then we're going to... Oh, no. What did I do? Oh, no. Did it crash? Where'd it go? Dang it, Debian. No, you're not doing this to me again, Debian. You're not. We've had this discussion. I love Debian, but your installer is getting better, and it's not going to have problems this time around. All right, here we go. All right, we're not going to have problems. We're just going to delete this. We won't make a new partition table. You didn't like that last time. So we're just going to do a little bit of the... We did this in UEFI, so we're going to just do FAT 36, I think, right? Mount point, going to be boot. And we're going to make this 300 megabytes. And then we got to do a flag for EFI, right? And... Ah, crap. Where's EFI in here? Alright, I gotta admit, Debian, you suck. Oh, I hate you. I hate you so much. Like, this is terrible. Oh, don't use Debian the first time around, kids. Oh, Lord. Which one am I gonna choose here? It's gotta be boot, right? Most times they label it EFI. Most sane distributions label this EFI. Ah. All right. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's gonna be boot EFI. I think that's right. FAT 32, boot EFI. Yeah, that sounds right. Boot and ESP. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Ben and Hikari. Hikari's always looking out for me. I love Hikari. All right. I think that should... Those flags should get us there. Man. That is crazy. All right. And then we're going to do ext4. We're going to do a root mount on this guy. We don't need any crazy flags. I think we can just go without any flags on this one. All right. That's our manual partition. Shouldn't really mess up anything, but then again, this has already been such a rough go on our first returning YouTube stream. Yeah, Dio, of course I'm switching distros. It's that time of the month again. It's a new month. You know what I did? I don't think anybody knew this, and I've told this story a bunch on some of my past live streams, but just as a goof, I got tired of saying distros don't matter and all that crap. So what I did was I installed Ubuntu because everyone knows I'm not a big Ubuntu fan. And I rocked Ubuntu for 6 months with the awesome window manager theme. I don't think anybody knew. I got so many comments. Everyone still swore that I was using Arch. And I was like, ha 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 ha, joke's on you. All right, anyways, back to this. Here we go. Is there a way to undo the script? I've seen that question a couple times, Jacob. No. You can undo parts of the script. It just depends on what you got. There's no like bulk undo. There's no just like, hey, here's how you just return everything back to normal. The best thing you can do is do a system restore point prior to doing the script. Maybe on the next one I'll show people that. But the quickest way on the Windows 10 users out there that run the script don't like what it does, revert back to your latest system restore point. And if you really want to nuke it, you can always just do a full-on system refresh, but that'll delete pretty much everything, all your apps, which that sucks. Don't do that. But that's up to you. All right, here we go. Manual partitioning on disk, SDC. We are doing a current that to that. Going from this to here. Oh, lordy. Here we go. Have you tried compiling the Zen kernel from Fedora? Ooh. Anytime you compile the Linux kernel, that's just an interesting experience in its own. I have not tried it specifically on Fedora. I'm really lazy these days. I really look for the binaries in other repositories. Fedora is great in that regard. Usually, all right, here we go. There's no turning back now. We've officially wiped out the studio PC live. So this is gonna be either magic or tragic. Oh, crap. You know what I should have done? Darn it. Can I cancel this? You know what? I'm going to cancel. Yeah. All right. Probably shouldn't have canceled that right on the installing thing, but I want to do this. I'm sorry, guys. We gotta do this again. Because it was just gonna be such a headache if I let this go through. We're gonna cancel right in the middle of an install. Don't ever do that. But I'm gonna do it anyways. All right. We're gonna do manual partitioning. All right. We're gonna go next. Yeah, we're just gonna leave all this the same. That's fine. Oh crap! It's gonna allow me. Actually, maybe I can just delete this and create a new. Maybe it'll let me go next on that. Let's go home. Home. Okay. Mount point. Let's edit that. Oh, that's so funny. I did that. Man, all right, that's funny. All right, let's just format that. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do that, but here's what I wanted to do, and this is why I came back into here, just so everyone knows. I always mess up the if I'm live streaming and partitioning a drive, y'all need to just tell me no. You're not allowed anymore. You will always make you always destroy it. All right. SDB1 is home. So this one, here's why I did that. We're gonna go home. Do not format this, please. All right. I forgot my home folder, man. Oh, that was gonna be terrible. All right, now we should be good. So we can go SDC, and we have our new partition. Everything looks good. But we got no next. Damn. All right, let's go edit. This one's mount. Okay. Now we have a next. Okay. I don't feel good at about this at all, but hey. Yeah. All right. Mount points look on par with manual partitioning. We're gonna go next now. I hacked the Steam link you sent me later. Ah, that's awesome, Hikari. I did see that on the Steam links they have specific OSs you can load through the USB drive. It's really amazing. I've actually been using my Steam Link lately. It's actually a pretty solid piece of software when you hardwire it. I don't know what I'm saying. We're just floundering around and formatting things and loading up Linux. I mean, it's always a fun experience. I've done it so many times, but I don't know. I always like to try something new on each install. Probably shouldn't do that on a live stream, but I just can't help myself. It's like putting a kid in front of a giant red button and saying, "Don't ever press this," and then the adult walking out of the room. That's what this is. Totally. All right. Yeah, sure. Let's install. All right, now it is going and doing all the stuff we hopefully we need it to do. Oh no. Oh, come on. Gosh. Oh, that is hilarious. All right, we're gonna reboot. That's funny. Yeah, don't ever stop it right when it's in the middle of partitioning. But I wanted to change it to the home folder. We'll get it this next time. Sure. Yeah. It'll be fine. We'll just come on down here. saw that one coming. Dude, really? Come on, man. Debian's not that hard. I know. But I got 5 different hard drives, and I want to set it up just right so it gets all my settings, man. If it doesn't get my home folder and all my settings, you're going to be sitting here reloading crap for a week. You know, I like all my settings and stuff. So that's what's up. That's what's up. Anyways. What's Chris expert at again? Not Linux, man. Not Linux desktop. I've never claimed to be an expert at Linux desktop. I mean, honestly, I think everybody that's in the Linux desktop realm's not an expert. Hell, I think, what was the famous quote from Linus Torvalds? I tried to install Debian, but then I just gave up. That's so great. I love it. Player some grades. Thank you for the super chat. I'm working on getting a certification for system admin. I'm on Manjaro KDE currently. Love KDE, man. Good choice in desktop environment. That's what I rocked for a long time. What would you recommend for me and others? Oh, certification. So, in today's day and age, when it comes to certifications for any aspiring IT people out there, I would highly recommend, and I'm going to fix my mirroring, to do System Security Plus, Network Plus. Those are so universal in pretty much every IT role you're going to go into. Learning about security, learning about networking is paramount. No matter it's Linux, Windows, Mac, whatever, those things, they are amazing. And honestly, it just looks good on a resume. And then from there, pick your poison, whatever you want to specialize in. If you want to go into networking, by all means, get like a CCNA. If you want to go into Linux admin type stuff, get both a Windows Server cert. I can't emphasize that enough. You need Windows Server because you're going to be messing around with Active Directory in every business you go into. And get, you can get a Linux system admin cert. Pick your poison on that. I mean, at the end of the day, certs, they're good, but they get your foot in the door. At the end of the day, it's all about the experience, man. Once you have the experience and you've been in some stuff, well, that is really what looks good. That's really where everything is. Net Plus today. All right. Good to hear, Cole. That's amazing, man. Congrats. That's a great feeling, too. Getting that first cert under your belt. Oh, that's just a fantastic experience. My first cert was Windows XP. Old XP. Man, that made so many viruses happy. All right. Let's see where our drives are at now. All right. Let's see. SD, Home still SDB, and that's SDC. All right, we're good. We're good. We're going to fly through the install this time around. Any chance for a chat-controlled 360 camera in your studio? Yeah, Sebastian, I'm down for that. I love the interactive stuff. I just wanted to get all my Twitch stuff moved over, so I added YouTube memberships for custom emotes and the badges of that you get on Twitch. I wanted that over on YouTube, so that's why I did the YouTube memberships this week and just moving all that Twitch stuff over here. But yeah, I really want to expand on it and do more of the alerts and that type of thing with YouTube, which I noticed I don't think the alerts actually fired off for some of the super chats. But luckily the bars on chat, it's just impossible to miss, which is nice. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna do our manually partitioning. We're not gonna do anything crazy here though, guys. We're just gonna go here, hit OK to that. We're gonna go here. We're gonna set this to boot EFI. Everything looks good. We're gonna come back to here. This is gonna be our home directory. We've got it this time. And then we can actually chat without me going, oh my God, I just broke the system. Oh yeah, this is actually Studio PC. All right, here we go. Install. This one's gonna work. I got a good feeling. Only 360 pants if you're wearing pants. What? Takes away the joy. I'm doing really good these days. Really good. I've slowed down on YouTube a little bit. I wanted to focus on hammering out some GitHub projects and other things and just kind of putting that on christitus.com and really building out some of that, because when you just make YouTube videos, like some people notice I've slowed down my videos. At the end of the day, you end up talking about the same crap over and over. And if you just watch all the videos, usually it's there. And instead of rehashing the same stuff, I was like, you know what? I really want to make a difference, as cheesy as that sounds. And to really make a difference, it's really putting those GitHub projects out in the world and then having other professionals fork them, make them better, send errors and things that I do, and then fix them. I mean, that's the best feeling in the world, is really creating something. So, Cole, thanks for the super chat. You ever had Grub just break on you? Well, I've had Grub break, but I can't ever say it was Grub's fault. Usually it's me doing something stupid, which I love breaking stuff in my studio. Like, I live to break things in a test environment. Like, if I immediately get like a developer saying, don't do this, I go do it. Because I'm like, ooh, what's that do? So, like my Manjaro. Oh man, when I was in Manjaro, I broke that into a billion pieces. But it was totally my fault because I totally did something they said not to do. Which I think it was updating. KDE was unsupported in Manjaro at the time, and I updated through PawMac using like a beta version of PawMac Qt, and it just blew up. I think I made a video about it a long time ago. But anyways, I've never had Grub just break. So good question, Cole. I would say Grub is fantastic. It's fun. But if you're going to do multi-booting, if I was doing Mac, Windows, and Linux all on the same PC, let's say I wanted to try boot this system. Oh man, re-eifind. I'm saying that wrong. I'm terrible with English. I'm terrible at speaking. I just like fixing things and working on computers. That's really my thing. But re-eifind. God bless, I can't even say it. But you guys know what I'm saying. R-E-F-I Indy, or is it just D? Chat'll know. But yes, that is the best bootloader for tri-boot system. But if I'm just using Linux, man, I love Grub too. I love theming Grub too, which we might get to. Hey, all right. Mira, thanks for joining, becoming a CTT member. And Michael, I saw you up there too, man. I would scroll up, but I broke my mirroring. I have a top monitor here with all the chat, and since I decided to reload my studio PC again, it broke. Yeah, of course it did. I think squirrels are your thing. Yeah, it is. I can never stay on topic. Although I have been hammering away at Debian, there has not been a dull moment in this stream where I haven't been actively breaking this PC and installing Debian Linux. I don't know why every live stream where I install vanilla Debian, it just ends in disaster, but I have a good feeling about this one. I think it's gonna go well. You need to really review OnlyOffice. Oh yeah, OnlyOffice. Doesn't that have all the integrations with Nextcloud? Yeah, OnlyOffice and Nextcloud are like freaking sweet. If you got like a Nextcloud server, you install OnlyOffice. That's my jam, man. That's awesome. So yeah, I've actually done OnlyOffice on a Nextcloud server. Can't remember who I set that up for, but they love it. But it looks just like a online Windows, which is great. You're not multi-booting though. I don't know what happened. Oh, there's a bunch of utilities though. I did a video specifically over repairing Grub. Ubuntu makes a Grub rescue video. There's RescueTux. There's a bunch of freeware out there that just fixes Grub for you. Crap. Let me load up. Where are you at over here? Let me load that up. I want to find that why that's actually loading. I got a second keyboard. No, Debian. Come on, bro. What? That's not real. That's so funny. I'm never installing Debian on a live stream again. No. All right, we're rebooting. I don't believe that failed. I just don't believe that failed. No. No. No, that did not happen. You better boot. You better boot. Come on now. Alex, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Chris, is there a way to easily get the latest Mesa in a binary form on Debian? Not the source, not from backports. Yes. I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. So, on vanilla Debian, which obviously you see I'm an expert at because I'm great at not being able to install it. But on any Ubuntu-based derivative of Linux, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Pop! OS, you can just load the PPA of, I forget what it was. It was actually in that Ultimate Gaming Guide that worked just fine. All right, we're taking Mira's advice. One more time. Ah! That's just terrible. That's embarrassing and terrible, and I love every minute of this live stream. Oh, God. Don't use vanilla Debian, kids. Oh. Should have stayed with Mint. Yeah. Yeah. But the whole okay, so the whole purpose of this stream was to show something new. Little did you know. Little did you know. This is where we were going with it. me installing vanilla Debian incorrectly. Although once we get to the actual server-based ones, I am definitely more comfortable with a non-GUI install, so it's terrible to say. That, like, such a bad example. MX Linux is alright. Isn't that XFCE based? I love XFCE, and I like it for its base components. Like, throwing Awesome Window Manager on XFCE is actually pretty nice. I dig it. It's what I've been rolling, actually. Maybe the USB. It's not bad this time. I swear this is not the same USB. I threw that USB in the trash. Vanilla Debian or Linux Mint Debian edition. That's the problem. I don't think PPAs are a thing in vanilla Debian. They aren't a thing in vanilla Debian, Alex. Don't use PPAs. According to Debian, it says it will break the system, so don't do that. Getting back to your point, though, what to do there? Let's see. Set up users and passwords. We'll just do that. Do that. Yep. Ooh, you know what? Let's go back one. I think... Okay, cool. We actually, vanilla Debian, if I remember, you want to actually blank that out, it'll disable the root account, and then you elevate everything with Pseudo. I do remember that, so yeah, not too terrible. All right. But yeah, vanilla Debian getting the latest message drivers without building from source. I think it's one of the problems of vanilla Debian is not having like PPAs and things to go with. I haven't done it. I would have to explore that a little bit more, Alex, to really get it going. So, all right, here we go. We're gonna we're gonna partition this around again. Oh Lord. All right, EFI. Erase data on this partition. Yes, please. Yes. All right, let's go back. And we're gonna erase data on this partition. Yes. Yes, I need to announce my streams ahead of time. This was just kind of like one of those surprise things. to where I didn't know how this stream would go, and I didn't really want like a huge audience, which I think we only got like, what, 50 or 100 people? Something like that. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to the numbers. I wanted a kind of a smaller stream to where we do the first YouTube stream and just have like, you know, that fun fact, the people that follow the channel are here, not so much a whole bunch of other people or like did any promotion. So that's the fun thing about it. If you do getting the latest Debian, Mesa on Debian, please make a video about it. Well, Alex, fun fact, if I ever can get Debian installed, we'll do that. Oh, no. No, we don't want to write with zeros. Is there a quick option in this? Well, you know what we'll do? We'll use this as ext4. Yeah, we're going to go yes, format it, mount point, root. Is there a yeah, I think maybe. I think it probably should do a quick format when I just do format partition. Let's name this though. Let's name this root. Or let's just name it deb. 485. I missed that. Delete partition is not a wipe. Okay, good. I didn't think it would be. Alright, there we go. Format, blah, blah, blah. That's all good. Resize. Done setting up this partition. Alright, now this one. Boot flag is on. Uses EFI. I don't think we need to do anything there. And then here on this guy, this is our home directory. We can use... Oh, crap. What was my home directory? What's the command to drop to terminal? TTY. Is there TTY? Yeah. Yeah. Pseudo blk id. Oh. Okay, blk id. I'm already root. What is this? Home is ext4. Okay, cool. Alright, we're gonna go back. ext4. Do not format. Please don't format my home partition. Please, I don't want to lose all my stuff. Alright. Michael, thank you for reminding me why I love LMDE4 so much. Linux Mint is fantastic. A lot of people have noticed I've recommended it a ton, and that's pretty much all I recommend these days. It's because it is really simple. It is really, really simple. I think it spoiled me. I think the last couple installs I've done has been Linux Mint. I really haven't done anything else lately. Because this is pretty funny. All right. We should be good. We should be good here. You did not select any partitions to use as swap space. Do you want... No, I don't want swap. Don't give me swap. Take what I say. I am right. Debian, you're wrong. Don't ask me these questions. What do you think about the idea of attempting to make a DE from scratch? Fun learning experience? A waste of time? What's your opinion? Beethoven. This is a great question. I get this all the time. I absolutely love Arch Linux for learning. If you haven't installed Arch Linux from scratch, that's where you start. I learned the most about Linux doing that. Oh, Lord. Failed to attempt to mount on VFAT. Partition 1 failed. Do you want to resume partitioning from... Why? Why did it fail? Can you tell me more? Tell me more. Where's the tell me more button? So Beethoven, to answer your question though, Arch Linux, definitely start there. That's where you learn the most. It's fantastic. I love installing an Arch. Arch is actually easier than installing Debian for me. Like by a mile. And you learn so much doing Arch. And then if you love that process and you learn a lot from it and you get really good at it, by all means, Linux from scratch, or probably Gentoo is like an in-between Arch and Linux from scratch. That's kind of the progression. So start with Arch Linux, then go to like Gentoo to get kind of that hybrid build between kind of almost from scratch a lot of compiling, and then you can go full Linux from scratch if you want to go that far. For most people, you'll stop at Arch Linux. All right. If we don't have a boot partition, this is just not going to work. Bah. All right, partition disks. You know what we're going to do, guys? Let's just wipe out this entire disk. Let's just delete the partitions. Delete partition. And then we're going to start it up or set it free. TTY install next. I'm not doing a TTY on that. It's crazy. This is just crazy sauce. This should work. Beginning, please. Use as EFI, system partition, boot flag on, name. You better not fail this time. that's what I should name it. Oh man. All right. We're gonna go that. Done. Alex, thanks for the membership, man. Thanks for joining the CTT member club. I need a better name than CTT member. We're workshopping that right now. If anybody has some good comments on what the members should be called, we're gonna do that. All right, we've set up the partition. We're gonna go ahead and finish partitioning and write it to disk, please. You better work. All right, this is just saying enabling swap space is recommended, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to enable swap space, so no, I don't want to do that. We're gonna write these changes to disk. Oh, wait. 1 second. Oh no, I already set home. All right, we're good. Nope. Right. It's gonna work this time. I got a good feeling. Windows Alternative, man. Thanks for joining the membership, man. CTT throbbing fully engaged member. I don't know. I think YouTube might have a problem with that. Although it's a pretty catchy name. Pretty catchy name, Rattler. All right, I think this one's gonna work. Again, I don't know why I don't remember this from the last install. How long have we been live streaming, by the way? It doesn't feel like, but maybe 30 minutes. Oh God, an hour, 15 minutes. I'm totally becoming a meme right now. I feel like Linus does when he drops an electronic. This is my dropping everything that I touch. Installing Debian, disaster every time. I love it. Chris Titus Technician. Chris Titus Technician. Yeah. Technician. I love it. Love it. Mira CTT fan club. I'm gonna think of something. We're gonna think of something. I'll make a community post. We'll do a poll. I'm gonna take all the suggestions and put it the TT club. Hey, I've gotten some great calls. As you know, I work with a lot of vendors through my day job. So whenever you work in tech and you do a lot of that type of stuff, you're gonna get a lot of overseas calls, which native is not their first language. So if you look at my name, Titus, right? It's in the Bible. And if English is your first language, totally get it. Most people pronounce it kind of right. Although I've ordered stuff from places and they'll put TIDUS and I'm like, oh man, all right. But anyways, getting back to that story, I had a guy literally call me Titus. He literally called me up and I'm like, yeah, this is Chris. And they're like, oh, hey, Mr. Titus. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I was just, as soon as I did, I was like, I'm opening the door now. And I open up the door to my office and I'm just like, this is Mr. Titus. And I mean, everybody outside was just rolling. Oh my God. I some of the best things to this day. One of the ladies up there at work, she calls me Tits. which is great. And everything in chat is now flagged. Everything is just like message hidden because it had an inappropriate word. Oh, it's horrible. Horrible. Oh, but I love it so much. You gotta laugh. You gotta love that stuff when it happens to you. Might be embarrassing at the time, but hey. Beethoven asked what you thought about making your own desktop environment from scratch, not a distro. Oh, did I read that message wrong before, Hikari? I would say I hate it. I hate building stuff from scratch. There's people far smarter than me that have already done the legwork. Why am I redoing something that someone that's smarter than me knows more about the subject than me? Why would I redo that other than a learning experience? For a learning experience, I totally get it. But for you to think you could do better than someone that's been making Linux distros for 10 or 20 years, get real. There's a ton of geniuses in the Linux space. Ton of people that are just brilliant on GitHub and just all of the places to where creating something new, if it's an original idea that hasn't ever been done before, I love taking a stab at that. Something that's genuinely innovative, yes. But I have no interest in rehashing something that's been done 100 times. So, that's just my impressions. All right, we're gonna use states. Let's see here. Usually, I like to use LeaseWeb. LeaseWeb, I always get really good results whenever I'm doing stuff through LeaseWeb. Miska, thanks for becoming a member. Much appreciated. Welcome to the club. Instead of using your own DE, use Awesome Window Manager and learn Lua. Obi, you're absolutely right. Lua is really an interesting language, and it's actually in a lot of places. Last time I used Lua in business. This is good. I was building out an automated system for, I think it was AT&T, or I can't remember who the contract was with. Big telecom company here in the States. And they used a weird, obscure project. I think it was called SiteBoss. And this SiteBoss ran off of Lua scripting, and it could control a whole bunch of different components, power on switches, and control a lot of logging. It would do the SMNP. It's getting late. Whatever, that logging, where it comes in, and it would control all that and send me alerts, and you could control everything in that system without ever going there, and it was amazing. But Lua scripting was what that main system did, and it was really great. Oh my God, is this complete? Is it actually? Did it actually work? I didn't think that would work, actually. I pretty much lost interest and just started rambling towards the end of this install. Because we're still getting to the part that no one's ever seen. So far, this has just been, hey, let's revisit live streams from a year ago of me failing to install Debian. Although I did have a couple drinks, so this was kind of fun in that regard. I love that. Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, Mira was on the money. Non-graphical Debian installer for the win. We got a lot of hard drive activity over there, so we're fine. We're fine. This is gonna work fantastic. I can tell already. It's good. It's just good. Yeah, Arctic, if you just click the join button at the bottom there, you can join and become a member. You get the exclusive badges. As I live stream, you can join up. You get different badges at different months. Since we just started, I think it was yesterday I sent that out. I can't remember. But that is all the badges from Twitch, because I was live streaming over there, but I'm trying to carry everything from that to here and just live stream here, because it just makes more sense. This is where everybody is when it comes to technology. All right. fun thing on this ISO, you guys probably didn't. Oh crap, you guys can't see this. All right, we're logging in and fixing the displays. Check out this wonderful gray screen. It's fantastic. All right, we're gonna do settings, make sure our displays are, oh no, we're mirrored. All right, we're good. Gnome. Gnome is the desktop environment I chose. Most people know I hate Gnome. And Gnome is where we start this journey, because I wanted to show something that maybe you all haven't seen. Most people know I use Awesome Window Manager with a material theme. However, that lead developer went on to develop something called Material-Shell. That's the whole purpose of this live stream. We finally are getting to it. The whole project an hour later, and this is just simply incredible. This is Awesome Window Manager in GNOME. It's a beta. Expect bugs right here. I can read, but it's still fun to tinker with. Me personally, I still like Awesome Window Manager version of Material Shell theme a little bit better, just because it's a little more minimal. So let's get this installed, because I really love this project. So we're gonna pull this up. I think, what is that, the terminal? Pull up terminal. I didn't know Debian installed 3 terminals by default. Ah, look at that. It even kept some of my installs. How about that? What's my favorite Linux distribution? Yes. That's my favorite. If someone locks me down and says, you need to pick a Linux distribution, I'm just going to tell you Linux Mint. Every time, Linux Mint. Because if you got to ask, that's where you should start. And honestly, that's where, if you just want to leave it, that's cool too. I mean, it's a really good operating system. A really good base install. Because I've been working off Linux Mint for a couple months now, actually. I just decided to do this because, well, I wanted to show something new, and don't have Git. All right, let's get Git. Why is Debian so bloated with random games? I didn't see that. Is it? This is the non-free version. Let's go all. What is what is going on here? Okay, this is not Debian's doing. Debian's really clean, by the way, guys. This is my home directory, because I know for a fact they did not put this crap in here. That is me. That is, there's some shenanigans going on with my home directory. Yeah. So yeah, Debian didn't do this. That's not Debian's fault. All right, we're gonna git clone. Already exists. All right. All right. I already did this once, apparently. We're gonna do a sudo rmrf and that. Ooh, should I do material shell? Yes. All right. Now, let's just go ahead and do that. We're gonna grab a new one. Debian with Epic Games Launcher. Oh, Epic Games Launcher. I haven't even covered that in a video, by the way, guys. It's a hot mess. Some games work. Most don't. That's where Epic Games Launcher is. I hate Epic Games. Let's just leave it at that. I hate Epic Games on Windows, too. It's not just a Linux thing. If I'm on Windows, I really hate Epic. If I'm on Linux, I really hate Epic. That's where I fall in line there. All right, now we go there. Let's install. Oh, we need Gnome Tweaks. So let's grab some of these other dependencies with this shell. And this is github.com/material-shell. That's the GitHub I'm working off of here. So we're gonna enable this. And I have a weird tick I gotta share with everybody. I like to close everything out. I don't ever leave any applications open. I don't know why I always end up doing that. Oh, jeez, come on. Happy to install Gnome Tweaks. Is it Gnome Tweaks? I hate you, Gnome. Still hate Gnome. Oh, crap. All right, let's go Gnome Extensions. It's been a while since I used Gnome. But I wanted to show this. This is the guy that developed the materials theme for Awesome. He just moved it over to Gnome. So, yes, continue. Do it. Is it just in here? That would be cool. Material shell. There it is. All right, material shell error. Well, come on. Well, all right. Let's just close that. Let's now try to do it. Dang it. Did I closed my cheat sheet? Yeah, I know. I know. Mint versus pop. Depends on what you're doing. These days, I'm kind of leaning towards mint. But it depends on what your jam is. If your jam is Gnome, if you like this kind of layout and you like Gnome's workflow, Pop OS. That's where you're at. If you like your traditional, more Windows layout with like start menus and just a more traditional workflow, it's hard to beat Linux Mint. So that's my 10-minute YouTube video for Linux Mint versus Pop OS. Put it down. That's pretty much every 10-minute video of Linux Mint versus Pop OS. Oh, Chrome Gnome. Oh, thanks, Kari. Yeah. Gnome shell. What do we add to here? Let's see. All right. That looks like it's coming. Yep, that's already in. Did that install? No, it's already there. You're wrong, Hikari. You're wrong. It's the only time I ever get to say that, but I love saying it when it actually happens. All right. Yeah, Frank, I am done with Twitch. I could talk about that for a second. Twitch. What is Twitch? Should you use it? Is it worth streaming on? And my take on it these days, like a year ago, I wanted to diversify off of YouTube and Twitch. And I got to tell you guys right now, after seeing what I saw, was it yesterday with Dr. Disrespect, which if you're not familiar with him, he's a gaming streamer from Twitch. And Twitch is mainly games, right? I thought I'd buck the trend and try and do like a tech channel over on Twitch and build out fun emotes and all that stuff. And, you know, it did well. I mean, it was doing well for Twitch technology channels, I guess. It was about 100 viewers per stream, but Twitch itself, I think, I don't think it has a future. I see so much mismanagement happening from a business perspective that Twitch itself, I think, in 5 years will be a distant memory. It'll be the MySpace of streaming. You can quote me on that. I literally see terrible CEOs. I think of the time of horrible CEO decisions. Losing him and maybe something bad happened or whatever it was, but if they haven't, either way, it's a terrible mismanagement thing. And when it comes to Twitch, I gotta say, I think they're going nowhere fast. They've done nothing with the platform. They're owned by Amazon. They're just been floundering around. They're run by just terrible people. Everyone that's met them and had business dealings with them have nothing but terrible things to say, whether it's H3H3 or the latest drama or whatever it is. Almost everyone, the whole ninja thing before that, it's just I looked at it and I was like, why am I wasting my time on there? All I'm doing is bringing you guys over from YouTube to Twitch. Twitch itself, there was just nothing there. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Everyone's already on YouTube. Why not just stream on YouTube? It's a little more difficult to set up, but most of the features that Twitch had, now YouTube has. It has a membership program, it has emotes, it has custom badges for those people that are here. That's really what people want. A lot of the interaction from Twitch you can do on YouTube now. And I'm like, dude, what am I? It just hit me the other day when I saw everything happen. I was like, that's it. I'm done. So, anyways, all right. Was it Gnome Extensions? No. Let's try Gnome Tweak Tool. Gnome Tweak Tool. No. All right, let's go Material Shell. But that's my hot take. That's my hot take on that. Oh, sure, after I spent $2,000 on subscriptions. Yep. Michael. Now, in my defense on that, Michael, we were down to about 30 active subscriptions over on Twitch. So that kind of dwindled down. And most of those gift subs did run out, and it just wasn't seeing much traffic anymore. It wasn't enough to sustain active presence on Twitch. I looked at it, I was just like, yeah. This is, I either need to kill it or just move it to YouTube. And I said, you know what? I love live streaming. I love talking to everyone. And it just makes way more sense to do it on YouTube. Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you. I appreciate the support either way, man. All right. What is going on here with Material Shell? Because this has just been a terrible stream, by the way. I have not been able to get this going. Well, it's because I lack reading capabilities. All right, we're gonna go Alt F2, type R. Restart is not available in Wayland. Oh, Debian, you're using Wayland by default? I thought Fedora was the only one that did this. All right, we gotta disable Wayland. Ugh. Disable Wayland. I already hate this base install. Where are you at? Wayland is hot garbage. That's my other hot take. I hate Wayland. Oh, nothing works in Wayland. I swear I have so many problems. Did I install Vim yet? I need my Vim. Give me Vim. All right, we're gonna get rid of Wayland. Go back to Xorg. The good stuff, where the good stuff is. That did not. Oh well, it would help. No, that's still not there. Am I not using GDM3? CD GDM3. Huh. Maybe they might have put this as Pseudo daemon conf. Yeah, that's it. That's what we need right there, guys. I was like, all right, I know it's not. It's just a mistyped. Sometimes the instructions change a little bit. All right, let's reboot. And then we're going to come back to this, and everything's going to work great. And you're going to see where it all is. This new material theme. It's not this difficult, by the way. Just whatever. Can you please tell me how to set that every time I start my PC, the starting volume will be 0? Ooh, that's a good one, Edward. Let's pull that up when we get in here. I did a thing on Pulse Audio and also Mixer, but I want to show that every time you load a new distro or whatever it might be, you should look into this. It's really good. All right, we're done. We're done with we're off of Wayland. Things are already moving faster. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I can't tell a difference. I only tell a difference when I start actually trying to do like X11 forwarding and stuff. In play, on gameplay, I don't think I ever really gamed on Wayland that much, but I imagine it's just fine. But all the Xorg remote utilities like X11 forwarding, I can't live without. Just cannot live without. All right. What was I going for? Let's see here. Oh yeah. Let's look at the. All right, so there's 2 utilities. Also Mixer, which is in every pretty distro out there. Pavu Control. We're gonna just install Pavu Control real fast. This is like the all-in-one mixer that pretty much everybody should use. If you're using Pulse Audio, that is, which almost everybody in Linux is. Also Mixer, which probably is already installed. Yeah, also Mixer's already installed. So here's the master playback. So just type also Mixer from there. Put that up to 100. And go to F6. Take a look at each playback device. This is where most of things are. So let's come over to here. Like, some people run into where their mic's muted all the time. So if you had like mic problems, you probably want to come into like the front mic and change this. So you see the mic and the mic boost, take that up. If I was doing a bunch of recording or pulling right in, I would need to do that. So let's say we'll just do it for giggles. But same with line boost. I like to just max out all these just to get everything exactly how it should be. Rear mic, let's go ahead and take that up as well. All right. So that's also Mixer, and then you can launch into Pavu Control. Oh, my screen is blank? Really? Wallpaper only. Really? All right, 1 second. Talking to a blank screen. Ah, I see it. 1 second, guys. You don't like the blue screen? Is that not the latest jam? You guys want like an actual mirror so you can see what I'm doing? Anyways, yes, let's go back to also Mixer, kind of show you what I was doing. Oh, lordy. Check out your sound cards, F6. Your big ones that hit is like the USB DAC. That's what I usually send everything out of on all my systems. Your USB audio, if you're using any of these, make sure you take all of those up and then escape to exit. So once that's done, you can launch into Pavu Control. And then here you get a little bit more granularity. So what I like to do from here is disable things I'm not going to use. Like, I know the Brio's audio is trash. I would never use that for a mic. That's just cruel for anybody that joins me. For the HDMI audio out, again, kind of trashy. The rest of this, I'll probably leave in there. I might use the mic in to take in this mic into this PC if I ever did any recording and I split it out. The DAC, that should be my main system that I use to push everything out. Here's the actual audio in. Here's the audio out. This is anything that happens on this PC gets pushed out this DAC right here. This will be the fallback, so I usually like to put that as there. And I think unchecking this should make it the master. So we could test that out by just doing a quick video real fast. Let's go Chris Titus Tech. Bad Brian. Your Windows 10 custom cleanup script ruined my computer. Man. I would say reinstall, refresh, and then fork the project from GitHub. I went over this a little bit earlier in the stream there, Brian. So, like, you can actually go on here, fork the project, clean up some of that PS scroll strip. But as far as ruining your computer, I kind of doubt that, man. There's something else going on with your computer. It's just disabling some things in your actual Windows 10 thing. All right, back on track. We're back on Material Shell. You could always install Linux. No, that's terrible. Terrible. Don't do that, Bad Brian. That's a terrible advice. If you're having trouble with Windows and you move into Linux solution, unless you're getting tons of viruses. You're getting tons of viruses, you probably should be on Linux. All right, we're off of Wayland. We've refreshed. Log out, log back in. Gnome Tweaks, activate material shell. So we should open up that. I think we can now actually get our terminal going. 30-day Temple OS challenge. That's just madness. Who in their right mind would say yes to that? Gnome Tweaks. All right. Take a peek here. I think we're still missing some dependencies here. Let's go back over here, see what we get. I should have just shown you on what I had going on Linux Mint. I really regret putting Debian on this machine now. I already miss it. Ah, well. It's all good. It's been a bit since Debian. Debian was one of my very first ones I mained for a while. Extensions. Material shell. Error loading extension. What version of GNOME did Debian use? Let's check that out. Let's check that out next. What version of GNOME are we on? That'd be funny if it was a really old version. How do you check GNOME version? Eesh. Nope. Thought I was done distro hopping. I was. I just wanted to show people this new project, and then this all happened, and well, the rest is history. I was just like, well, let's install vanilla Debian. I don't know why I chose vanilla Debian. Of all the distros. Yeah, well. Let's see what GNOME version's on this version. Activities about? Is there an about in GNOME? Oh, there is an about. Alright. I was there. Am I blind? Oh. 330. Okay. Good lord. Alright, Debian's really, really far behind. Okay, so that's what's going on with what's going on. I was like, alright, I think we're on like an old version or something. Yikes. Pseudo apt update. Not install update, that's great. apt list, upgradable. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get on the latest version of GNOME right here and now. We're gonna go into sources. We're gonna do something you probably shouldn't do, but we're gonna do it anyways. Because that's just how we do it. And I should do a find and replace, but by the time I get find and replace going, I'll probably just have all this done. So, but by the time I'm not that good with them yet, where I just can do it off the cuff. Oh well. All right. We're going Sid. Yeah. If you're gonna go Debian, you might as well go Sid. All right. There's no backports in here, I don't think. Sid, we're gonna rock Sid, man. We need some Sid in our life. That'll get us to the latest version. CD. What's in the sources list? I wonder. Bloop. All right. Let's do a listing. Testing should be enough. All right. There's nothing in sources list. We're gonna clean it. We're gonna update it. We should get a couple things. Should have a couple packages to update off of this. Bullseye is definitely enough. But one thing here is I don't really want to wipe this out after this live stream's done. Sometimes I like just rocking a distro for a little bit, even if it just makes me want to punch babies. It's just one of those things. Let's see what we got. SID updates does not have an update file. SID security does not as well. All right, that's fine. Updates is obviously not needed. Yeah, it's been a little bit since the last time I've been on this. So let's go. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. Yeah, sure. Let's just go for it. Best video editor streaming software for Linux. Easy, Joseph. Best video editor, Kdenlive, hands down. I've done over 1,000 videos in Kdenlive. I gotta tell you, we got a few package updates, by the way. Kdenlive for video editing, I love it. It's fantastic. Everything I use here, as far as like, I use a little Stream Deck, little Stream Deck on the side, so I can go, hey, Q&A time. We got a little time while this updates. Hopefully it doesn't kill my uploads, but yeah. So that's the video editing side of things. As far as streaming software, OBS. I mean, OBS for Windows, Linux, or Mac. Wait, is OBS in Mac? I don't even know. But for Windows and Linux, OBS, just don't even bother with anything else. Everything else is just garbage. Expensive, proprietary garbage. It literally is worse. Like, when it comes to open source, not everything's better. But when it comes to OBS, I mean, I don't think there's a better streaming software on the market, whether you go paid or not. OBS is the winner. Is Blender video editor good? No, don't use it, T-Chili. If you could get the box off the screen, that's you're going places. But yeah, no, Blender's fun for animations, and that's really where it's geared towards. Blender's an amazing piece of software. It's just not really a video editor. Alex, thanks for the heads up. Don't forget Dist upgrade. We will do Dist upgrade after this. OBS can be a little cumbersome to set up. I'll give you that. But it's saying it's bad. Sorry, I ain't buying what you're selling, man. It's like saying Linux is bad. I'm like, hey, for some folks, maybe if you can't do it, I get it. But saying OBS is bad, I'm like, nah. No way. No way am I buying what you're selling on that one. Any chance for Debian experimental? Sebastian. Sure, I don't care about this system anymore. I stopped caring like about an hour into this stream when it came to this system. I was just like, oh my god, we had like failed in boxes, failed in Proxmox, failed in the initial install like twice, I think. Oh my god, terrible. Is there an easy way to automate things? Here, we're just going to say we're doing Q&A while this happens because this might be a minute. Is there an easy way to automate things or a scripting program like Hotkey on Linux? Edward, this is a great question. I get asked this all the time. I like to use bash scripting for a lot of things. As far as hotkeys and those types of automation tools, there's a lot of different things you can do. The hotkey system built into many Linux distros is pretty robust. Setting up just launching programs and things, unlike Windows, you can actually hotkey those in here. So like, let's say we wanted to hotkey, we'll just go ahead and do it while we're waiting for this, because I love this aspect of Linux in pretty much every, oh heck, God, it's been so long since I've used GNOME. I am just, yeesh, keyboard. All right, launching the home folder. We'll do that. Set that up. Launching web browser. We'll do that. Set that to Super B. Launching. Where's terminal? Where's my terminal? There's not terminal in here? No terminal? Oh, get out. Get out of town. All right. Well, anyways. So if you just want it for launching programs, obviously something like that would be great. For doing more complex things, this isn't exactly the same thing as Auto Hotkey. You got your Stream Deck here. You got it tied in to whatever you want. When I press this button, I wish I could show my Stream PC, but I don't have that set up. I have this custom project running in the background to where I have physical buttons that I press to do a lot of the transitions. So if I'm going from here to just chatting, like, hey, we're just doing Q&A, just go ahead and leave it here. This is all done through Bash scripts and Stream Deck, which I don't use any of the Elgato software. Someone made an open source GitHub project that interfaces with Stream Decks on the Elgato. It's kind of fun. You can do it for all kinds of different fun things. So definitely check it out. I can't remember. I think it was Stream Deck something. I can't remember the exact project. Mira. Navi 2 launches and is supported by Linux by using the RTX 2060. Wait, Navi 2, that's Team Red, that's AMD, right? And is supported by Linux. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. It's getting late. I'm missing words. Until Navi 2 launches, I'm using RX 2060. Which distro indeed do you think would give me the best experience so far? Fedora KDE has been hit or miss. Ooh, I kind of want to pick something special for Mira because I know she's been around for a while. If you're a huge KDE fan, Kde Neon is fun. Like if you love KDE and its workflow, Kde Neon's very close to Pop! OS or Mint, but since it's made by the KDE team, it integrates a lot tighter with KDE and you have less of the bugs a lot of people complain about. So I would say rock that. I would go with KDE Neon for that, Mira. Thanks again for your career vid. I took a retirement package and the guys I worked with who didn't deeply regret it. Oh, Yunder. Well, I'm glad, man. Glad that worked out for you. A lot of people are struggling right now and it's difficult for a lot of folks. My sister and brother-in-law, my brother-in-law got furloughed from, he was working in the hotel industry for the same hotel for over 20 years, over 2 decades, and they furloughed him. My sister was not as fortunate. She did not get furloughed. She actually got completely just straight up laid off. She worked for a software company that, for only 2 years, that made point of sale systems for restaurants. I gotta laugh to keep from crying on that one for her because, needless to say, that company has probably gone under, but the very first thing they did was cut all sales staff and everything, and that's where she was. So, but that's great, man. I'm glad you made it out and were able to retire, and I'm glad I was able to help nudge you that direction, man, and you're doing well. Tell me a good gaming distro. It's every distro's good. Whether that's Arch is definitely going to be the probably most performant as long as you're savvy with it. So if you go Manjaro or Arch, you'll have more up-to-date packages, so you're more bleeding edge, but expect obviously not as a stable and reliable experience. So if it's your production machine or something like you have to have 100% certainty on, obviously an LTS release is what you want to go with. So Linux Mint or Pop! OS would be my next go around. Linux Mint 20 made a lot of the same adjustments that Pop did. So when it comes to gaming out of the box, when I did the Ultimate Gaming Guide, I was using Linux Mint, and it was so easy. Where in the past, it was there was a couple more steps. So I really enjoyed that. And when it comes to Arch, I made a video specifically going over that Arch maintenance and just Arch in general. And I got to tell you, I love Arch for a lot of things. And if you follow those rules I laid out in that video when it came to things not to do in Arch and things to do in Arch when it comes to maintenance and updates. Man, you're going to have a great experience. My work PC is actually my longest running Linux distro, and it's Arch Linux. But I am at work every single week, so when I go into my day job, that's my Arch Linux. And the only reason I haven't really switched is I can't be doing this number like, oh wait, right there. I can't be doing that number at work and being like, hey, I'm reloading a distro. I know you got a support question or something happening with whatever, but yeah, it's gonna be a couple hours. I gotta reload this distro. So I've just left Arch, and it's been fine. As long as you don't do anything stupid. But when it comes to my studio PC, as you guys have witnessed tonight, I like to do stupid stuff on it and just have fun. AutoCAD 2014 crashes Windows 10. Any obvious thing it could be, T-Chili. If it crashes... So AutoCAD, if I remember correctly, if you have like the legit version, like, you know, the $1,000 version of AutoCAD, usually when it crashes, it could be a lack of a hardware key, but usually that would actually spit out an error prompt. It could be a lack of resources. AutoCAD is a beast of a system. It could be bad video drivers. Obviously, updating the video drivers could definitely affect it because it's extremely video intensive. It could be a whole bunch of different things. But the biggest thing I would do for Windows 10 users, when you have an application crash without any error message or any warning, instead of just blindly poking in the dark, right click on the little Windows button, go to Event Viewer, and then from Event Viewer, there's something called Application something. I forget the actual name. Application, and then it won't say errors, but basically you click on that, and then look for your AutoCAD program. It'll spit its error message out into Event Viewer, and you'll be able to troubleshoot from there. Just like in Linux, most Linux distros run systemd, you can use journalctl and limit it down to error messages, limit it down to certain applications or services. Journalctl from systemd is really, really nice. I love it. We're about 80% done on our update too, by the way. For my laptop running Pop! OS for stability, that system needs to be ready to use. Yep, I get it, man. I get it, Sebastian, for sure. Do you know any specific compositors work better with NVIDIA cards running the proprietary driver? Compton. Compton should work pretty good. If you're on an LTS release, running Compton with an NVIDIA card should work pretty darn good. You should have no problem with opacity and those types of things with Windows. But I imagine you'd already use Compton. Compton's kind of like the de facto standard. Compton is deprecated now, or depreciated, and I can't remember the new project that took over Compton, but most LTS releases still use Compton, on Debian at least. If I installed GNOME on a distro without pre-installed, would it look bad? Well, nah, I mean, GNOME, I honestly, I like the aesthetic of GNOME just fine. I just hate its workflow. Like, I don't like that. I don't like a lot of things about GNOME. I just wanted to be hard on myself tonight and install GNOME and try this different project. So, yeah. Yeah, there it is. PyCom. XICI knows what's up. Compton is no longer in development. Use PyCom. Yes, PyCom is the newer project. However, Compton's the tried and true one, so it depends on what distro you're rocking. If you're running like Ubuntu 18, Compton's probably where you want to be. But if you're on a newer distro, which you probably are, use PyCom. Hey, DistroTube's in the house. How's it going, Derek? What's that beauty of a rack behind you? Ah, Joseph, I'm glad you asked, man. I've actually just recently rebuilt that. Up top, I used to have a PF Sense box I used for my gateway. I did a bunch of block lists and other things built into it. I swapped that out recently, and done full ubiquities throughout the house. We were having Wi-Fi issues, and I just decided to just go, you know what? We're going to just do full enterprise Ubiquiti setup. So I had a USG already left over. I was like, I'll just throw that Ubiquiti USG Pro in. And then below that, that is HP... Oh, God, what is it? ProCurve. Yeah, HP ProCurve. And that was a throwaway, where it'd been sitting in a rack being used for about 5-6 years, but it's only gigabit, and we went ahead and did that. So below that, that's a brand new monitor. I actually got rid of all the big square monitors, swapped it out to an old cheap old Spectre monitor off of Amazon for like $60. Below that, that was a custom build. That's actually pretty old hardware in there. I just like the aesthetic of it, so I just spent like $50-$60 and was like, hey, I'm just gonna throw some. I think that's a Ryzen 2400G. That's actually the Windows box. So this is the Windows box, and the graphics card's really the pride of that system. That's a 2060. This guy over here, that's not really in the rack, but I might as well say that's the Stream box. That's the 2700 with NVIDIA 1660. That has the Invent Coder 2. Don't go 1650, but 1660 with Invent 2. And then below that is the Studio PC. That's what we're wiping out now. That's why you see that giant hard drive light. And then below that, we have a Soundcraft. Below that, we have my Linux Mint box with a whole bunch of stuff in it these days. So, there we go. Bedrock next. Oh, Sebastian. You know Sebastian's an OG when he brings up Bedrock. Oh, man. I got so much hate mail about that. Felt bad for the developer of Bedrock. I ended up deleting my Bedrock video, by the way, Sebastian. Because everything you searched on Google and you said Bedrock Linux, it would pull up all my videos. Every search. So anybody that was interested in Bedrock Linux was getting, hey, this guy off YouTube installed Bedrock's Linux that's brand new to Linux, and he had a terrible experience, and this developer literally got like 6 months of just inundated with it, and he sent me an email. He was like, listen, we need to come to an agreement. I've been working on this project for years, and everyone brings up your videos. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I know you've been working hard on this project for 2 years, and my videos just kind of crapped all over it. So I ended up taking down all my Bedrock Linux videos because of that, and just said, hey, you know, I don't want to bring down someone's work because it was truly a unique idea. And hey, if you're interested in running Arch Linux, Debian, and Ubuntu, and a bunch of in Fedora all at the same time, and use all the different package managers, Bedrock Linux is really neat on how it does that, but I will not install it. I'm out on Bedrock, but I don't want to discourage anybody from using Bedrock Linux either. It was a complete disaster. Oh, is there still have that video? Oh, yeah. I took it off YouTube. I think it might still be on LBRY though, because LBRY, I don't know can you delete videos on LBRY? I never do. I just leave everything up on LBRY because LBRY gets pretty much it gets blocked from Google. I mean, there's never going to be a video from LBRY that shows up on Google as it's a YouTube competitor. So take that with what you will. Can I get some hate mail for my distro? I do get a lot of emails about Linux distros, and I'm just like, hey, I love people that have like a unique idea with something, but a lot of times I'm just like, no. I mean, I like I said at the start of the stream, it's less about the distro, because I feel like distro is just giving someone a piece of food or a fish for a day. Getting back to that metaphor, you guys will hear it again. I'm going to give it to you again for those that weren't here for the beginning. You know, when it comes to distros, I don't want to package everything up into one distro that just does everything for you. As, again, back to that same thing. You give a man a fish he eats for a day, you teach him to fish, he eats for a lifetime. I just can't emphasize that enough. And I probably should get off of that metaphor. I probably should pick something different. But it's so true with Linux. There's so many things that the power of it isn't for not to be Windows. It's for it not to be Mac OS. It's really to be its own thing, its own modular system that you can make work exactly how you want it to work. And that's the power of it. It's just amazing. And it's up to you to make it amazing. So, Ben, thank you for the super chat. Have you ever done an NVIDIA manual driver install on Debian after installing a Licorice kernel? Sparky Linux is awesome, by the way. That's awesome, man. I have done manual NVIDIA drivers for that. You need to make sure, I think Licorice, I don't know how it works with the headers and making sure it has the DKMS module. As long as Licorice can interface with DKMS, I haven't directly done, I think, Licorice on an NVIDIA card. What am I running over here, by the way? Because this has an NVIDIA card on my Streambox. I'll watch my screen go blank and everybody yell at me again. But, am I on the wrong screen? I'm on the wrong screen. Alright, what am I at? Oh, no, I'm not using that. I'm using low latency. So I did use a custom kernel on the NVIDIA. It didn't require, I think, a manual install. I did use low latency. It just needed headers and the DKMS module, and it still did the auto install. So, good. What's your opinion on gaming on Windows LTSC? GSN. LTSC is great, as long as you don't need the Microsoft Store. Yeah, good luck trying to play like Minecraft Bedrock on that, or Gears of War, anything that uses Microsoft Store or Microsoft account sign-on, really. So LTSC is fantastic for those that don't need anything from the Microsoft Store or don't really need to utilize a Microsoft account through Windows Live. So that's where we're at. All right, we look like we're done with the actual upgrade. We're gonna do a Pseudo Dist upgrade now. The following packages have unmet dependencies. LBC GCC. Well, all right, let's go back to the desktop. Let's see what we got. We're back in project mode. Debian experimental. Let me see if I can't resolve this dependency real fast and get this Debian upgraded before we even talk about experimental. That'd be hilarious if I broke Debian on the first go around. I mean, leave it to me. All right, so I think I can just go sudo apt remove libc6 dev because it's getting replaced by libgcc. Oh, well, that's removing a bit of stuff now, isn't it? Oh, that's totally gonna break something, isn't it? Eesh. I don't know if I like that at all, guys. I think it'll be fine. Let's roll with it. Based on how this night's going, it's probably gonna break the system, but oh well. Don't break Debian. How fast can we break Debian is what it should be, Mitchell. Oh, man. LTSC kind of can do store, but it requires some PowerShell commands, GSN. I don't really recommend doing Windows Store with LTSC. It kind of defeats the purpose of using LTSC. I would much rather use a vanilla Pro or even... yeah, I mean, not Home. I hate Home. I would just never use Windows 10 Home whenever possible. Pro, though, a vanilla Pro is kind of my jam. if I was going to set up like a gaming box. But putting Ltsc and then bloating it up with store and the other dependencies just, ugh, it just feels dirty. I don't like it. Michael knows what's up. It's totally gonna break something. Let's do it. I don't like Debian because it looks straight up 2003. You ain't wrong, Andres. Debian can't. It doesn't look great out of the box, but Debian's one of those things. There's, as much as I've crapped on Debian tonight, Debian's one of those things. There's a lot of pride in setting up like a perfect, cohesive Debian install. Like once you get Debian and all the packages and everything going in it that you want and customizing it, I mean, you got to remember, this is the granddaddy distro that so many distributions are based on. Once you get Debian up and going perfect how you want it, that thing just runs and runs, and it's amazing. Even I ran SID for 6 months. I think, what was it, early 2019 to about mid 2019. Man, it was a fantastic distro. But yes, I will concede the initial setup cumbersome, the installer not great, the getting it exactly how you want it a little bit more trying than many other distros, but the end result is still pretty nice. But I mean, honestly, what distribution, the end result isn't nice if you know what you're doing? Every distro's beautiful at the end. Do you think it'd be possible at all to use Linux as an everyday OS with purely the terminal and no desktop environment? Ooh, kind of. I think I would struggle a little bit with that for what I do. I do a lot of remote desktop stuff. So obviously like Ramina is my jam. That's my bread and butter. So I'm in Ramina all the time, and having like free to RDP to remote into stuff is kind of necessary. So I need that GUI. But with that said, we can kind of do it without any, with some trickery, where we could launch into like a open box or something like that. Hey, that would work. Oh Lord, we're totally gonna break stuff. All right, here we go. Yeah, Michael's right though. If you really want Debian and you don't want to do any of this, LMDE is really solid. Linux Mint Debian Edition is really good. It's a monkey could install that. There is no real problem with anything on that. I installed WSL. It worked fine, but I couldn't get internet on WSL2. If you're getting internet problems with WSL2, typically WSL2, the difference between WSL1 and WSL2 is, for Windows subsystem for Linux, for those watching, but WSL1 was more of a compatibility layer. Think of Wine for Linux. WSL2 is more of a virtual machine, so this runs in its own thing, and it has a lot of Hyper-V dependencies. So when you run into problems with WSL2, which honestly, the performance and just everything about WSL2 dwarfs WSL1. WSL1's terrible, just don't use it. But WSL2, if you're having internet problems, why I say that is because Hyper-V in the background, you probably don't have some Hyper-V dependency, or you might have gone into your network connections and disabled a Hyper-V virtual switch, which is needed to bridge the two environments. So go to start run, type in ncpa.cpl, and then from there, you'll see the network connections pop up. Look for a Hyper-V network connection, make sure it's not disabled, make sure it's enabled. If you don't have a Hyper-V network connection, go into your network connection, make sure you have the Hyper-V toggle on. If that's not there, go start run appwiz.cpl. That'll launch it to add remove programs, turn Windows features on, go down to Hyper-V, tick Hyper-V, all the stuff you need from Hyper-V, install it, and reboot, because after you install something in Windows, you got to reboot. That's why I still reboot crap in Linux when you don't need to, because it's Linux, but got so much Windows in my brain that I still do stupid stuff like that. But anyways, I digress. with that, you'll probably get your network connection in WSL2. That's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. I need to drink more water. Well, there'll be a KDE i3 video. Seth, I did the KDE i3, and I will say it was not as clean as I'd like. Like, when it comes down to it, I would really love that to be a little more clean for me to do a video about it. So what he's talking about, for those that aren't caught up, I used to really, really love KDE, but KWin itself, kind of, it's okay. It's fine if you're used to the floating windows, but I really love tiling windows. i3, you can actually use, instead of KWin, and still use all of the KDE, all the other KDE stuff. There's a bunch of tutorials online on how to do it, and I followed a couple of them, and it was okay, but at the end of the day, it just kind of felt meh. You know, I had the tiling window managers with KDE, but the overall result wasn't magical. You know, you kind of get what I'm at, like where you're using something and you're like, oh, this feels great, I love this, and it wasn't that. So that's why I didn't make a video about KDE and i3. It worked. It was okay. One, I really don't like i3 as a window manager, but even with proper configs and stuff and the tiling with KDE, it just kind of felt clunky and not good. This is the best way to put it. So yeah, but I do love the experimenting around and just trying new things. You know, that's the big thing. I think a lot of people get comfortable doing like one thing a certain way, and that's just boring. And that's why I always do stuff differently. Like, even if it's something that, like tonight, like installing this, I just like to experiment and try new things. These days I don't make a video about probably 80% of the crap I try. I do it just because it's fun. I love just certain things, like that whole, yeah, I got one of the little SNES controllers. Like that whole CrowPie thing. I got so jazzed about that because I'll be able to teach my daughter like some really neat stuff on that. That was a lot of fun. I loved making that video because I got to experiment on a whole bunch of things that really, I don't know, just didn't do. But anyways, I digress. I really just enjoy having fun, and for me, fun is something new, different, and sometimes when I do this stuff, it's just terrible. It's just beyond awful, and I'm like, yeah, I can't make a video about that. If I game on Mint, do I need to install anything NVIDIA related? Yeah, you need to install NVIDIA drivers if you're using an NVIDIA card. And Mint makes it super easy for you. It's pretty much a tick box these days, much like Ubuntu or Pop! OS is. How are you liking Sway on Wayland? Yikes. That's something that does not interest me. I haven't tried it, but I'm just like, eesh. As soon as you had Wayland, I'm like, I'm out. I'm not doing Wayland. Can I fire up COD Warzone on Lutris? No, you cannot. Warzone doesn't work. I think the anti-cheat. Although, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, a lot of the anti-cheat stuff with Linux is hilarious to me. Because, like, these publishers, the anti-cheat solver is not even that good. Like, if I wanted to be, like, black hat about it, just publish a ton of hacks for all these games, because like easy anti-cheat's not that hard to bypass. And like, I don't get it. Like there's some politics or some something happened in the background with publishers and Windows and that type of thing. A lot of the stuff I encounter, I'm just like, okay, there's no technical reason why this is the way it is. Someone just wants to make life difficult. And that's probably the most maddening thing. That's probably the most maddening thing I go through. Jack says, hi, Chris. I loaded Linux Mint, and it was a good decision. Thank you for recommending. It's good to hear, Jack. I don't think I ever have gotten anybody that going, hey, you recommended Linux Mint, and I regretted it. It's a rock solid distro. It just is. And it doesn't install snapd behind your back. You knew sometime in this stream I was gonna bring up Snap. But I will. I won't beat a dead horse. No, I've already beat that dead horse. It's already just like done. But whatever. It is what it is. To me, snaps are just like the Microsoft Store is to Windows. Whatever. It's a store. It's there. If you don't like it, remove it. Yeah, so like some people here's a fun thing that I run into all the time in Linux. People like think you have to distro hop. And that is so false on so many levels. You don't need to distro hop. I can do whatever it is in any distro. Fedora, check. Arch, check. Debian, check. Ubuntu, Linux Mint. All of them. I mean, they're all just like, it doesn't matter on that. Like, just take whatever it is, learn what you can about it, and for most part, you should be able to get whatever it is you want going on it. There's like very, very few. The only thing I can think of software-wise would be like DaVinci Resolve, which I get asked about this all the time. So when it comes to DaVinci Resolve, you need to be running CentOS. Like, how they set it up is DaVinci Resolve, they want you to be using like a tried and true, old school, everything's meant for this really high-end system that all it's going to do is video production. And DaVinci Resolve does not really play nice on a lot of Debian distros and is a bit of a nightmare to get working. So I don't even recommend DaVinci Resolve in Linux, like, ever. It's cool, but meh. So that's my experiences with it, at least. So, like, everyone has different reports on DaVinci Resolve in that same front. If you're an NVIDIA card user, yes, it's going to work pretty darn good for the most part. Like, you can get it working in Debian well. If you're an AMD card user, oh boy, are you in for a fun treat. So, why it works so well on CentOS is because it's using AMD proprietary drivers and a lot of the OpenGL backend. If you want to use it on Debian-based systems, you technically can. Like I said earlier, everything can be done in tech. It's just a matter of time and resources. What I mean by this is you need to do a bunch of flags after downloading the AMD driver set to do like a headless install with just a certain section of the OpenGL proprietary driver to get that kind of going alongside with some of the open source drivers. It's kind of a mess. And then you install, after converting from an RPM to a DEB, you install DaVinci Resolve. You might be able to finally get that working, but I would not trust that at all. So yeah, me and DaVinci Resolve, I just meh. Unless you're an NVIDIA card user, then yeah, it's probably gonna work just fine. Kdenlive. I love Kdenlive, man. Kdenlive's Kdenlive's just awesome. There's just nothing better than some Kdenlive. Mid-20s LTS, isn't it? It's 5.4, I think, last time I checked. It's definitely not rolling, I'll tell you that. I mean, Ubuntu's not rolling, so. Yeah, it's like, nope, pretty sure that's right. See here. Titus has no love for BSD. BSD, I always love mentioning FreeNAS and its BSD portion of it. I think that's amazing. So FreeNAS is a fantastic representation of a lot of the capabilities of BSD, because a lot of BSD in the practical business world is used because of its superior networking stack compared to Linux. So it handles a lot of network traffic a lot better than Linux in regards to that. As far as using it as a daily driver, I need to give it a fair shake before I even say anything about it. I really do, and I haven't. So I'm biased. So I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna go, hey, BSD versus Linux. I'm gonna tell you what I like about BSD, and that's more from a business perspective. And as far as from here, you know, if I can't give something a fair shake, I'm not gonna talk about it. All right, should have nothing. Oh, really? APT list upgradable. What is left over? Upgrade. Huh. All right. I'm not gonna do an auto remove yet. All right, let's give this a reboot, shall we? Let's see if we bricked our new Debian install by going from stable to SID. That'd be hilarious. You think it's odd that your executive producers are the same as DistroTubes? No, not at all. Those that love Linux and see someone that contributes to help either adoption or just general guides, I think, to spread education, I think a lot of people appreciate that in a way. So to say that a lot of the executive producers are the same between me and DistroTube, I totally see that, because I think at the end of the day, both of us put out a lot of educational content on Linux, and there's a good library of things to learn there, and it's kind of cool. DT is interesting in that regard because a lot of our content are so different, like how he'll break down window managers and other aspects that I typically just don't even touch. Which is cool. It's neat. Oh, Sebastian. Oh, okay. Okay, that was... Oh, crap. Okay, there it goes. I was like, uh-oh, my mouse isn't responding. Skip. All right. Finally, 2.5 hours later, we are finally on the material shell in Gnome. Beautiful. Beautimus. I dig it. Here we are. Launch into new things. Flip back and forth. This is what I did this whole live stream for. So for the 5 people left over from the start, we finally made it. What's the best way to get your settings to transfer? I like to do a whole home drive. I do. That's what I did on this machine right here. That's why a lot of like people are like pulling up like the app window, like when I'm here. You're probably like, why is there so much crap on vanilla Debian? That's me from my home directory. don't know why that's there. That's weird. Anyways. All right. A couple other things to clear out here. Let's go back to material shell a billion years later. And we are finally pretty much there. We've already enabled the extension to navigate. It breaks out everything as you launch new stuff. Like the cool thing is, let's get terminal going a little bit. You see, the neat thing about this compared to what I've been doing, which is Awesome Window Manager, is this uses a lot of the backend. When you get window managers, they manage windows. That's pretty much it. They don't really do much, if anything else, and you have to like hard code hotkey shortcuts. And there's a lot of daemons that it's missing, like displays and that type of stuff. You got to do it all from command line, which is fine, and it makes it very fast and lightweight. But when you can take almost a window manager and then a desktop environment like this, Pop! OS is doing something kind of like this with their shell. I think I forget what it's called on Pop! OS, but they have like a tiling mode. It kind of sucks. I didn't like it that much, but it's something kind of like this. And yeah, it's just neat to do something fun that's just not really there. So we're gonna do terminal. And I think this is GNOME terminal. We'll see. And we'll do that. Add. So, yeah, there it goes. All right, so we launch into terminal. We get this. It does a little bit different from a regular tiling window manager too, because it's using GNOME. There's a lot of fanciness going here. You got the animations, which you can turn this off with Gnome Tweak tool, but you can also do traditional side by side, or go back to the tabbed. So it has like this tabbed, and then we launch more. It's kind of a very interesting in that regard. So we can actually close out of all this. The thing that's still a little buggy is like how it doesn't return from the tabbed to the tiling, which is not true tiling. It's almost like an interesting way of doing it. Like I would, if I was going to use this full time, probably would switch out to using tabbed all the time and just getting used to opening up new workspaces. So if we're going to do like text editor here, let's launch into that, and then come down in here. Let's launch terminal here, come down one more, and then do files, launch that, and then like, you know, sky's the limit. So that's it. And then everything automatically gets assigned using just super in the numbers. So material shell with GNOME bundled in was the whole purpose of this live stream, even though I did just a terrible job with the install. We got there at the end. Oh lordy. Try Dark Reader with Firefox. So I started on a rant at the very beginning about Brave, which I actually do love, but I have to use Brave Nightly. So I'm actually going to grab Brave Nightly real fast. Oh lordy. But I get why people don't like it with the integrated that. I think I covered most of the points. I think I never finished my original thought for those that are still here 2 hours later. And there are some shenanigans they've done. Like Brave as a company, they did built-in links when you go to like Binance.com. It would automatically autofill the link, which was super shady. Doesn't really make a difference to the end user, but if I was Binance or the person giving money to people that do the affiliate revenue, I'd be pissed. So I can't believe they still kept their sponsors from that, because that was kind of underhanded. For the end user, I was like, I don't care. But from an affiliate perspective, if I was the company, I would be super mad at Brave for that. They've done some other stuff too, but at the end of the day, I do like the browser a lot, and that's why I use it. So, I mean, that's where I'm at with Brave. I know that's finally wrapping up that thought 2.5 hours later. Oh, how much memory does this use? That's a good question. Let's pull up some of the results here, because, oh lordy, why is it installing all that for NeoFetch? Probably needed it anyways. All right, we're gonna do it anyways. I love I know if DT's still here, he's probably cringing because I think he. What was the package that he did a video on? That's a lot more minimal than NeoFetch. I can't remember. Let's see here. 2,500 packages so far. We're on kernel 5.7. We're using Mutter for the window manager, Gnome for the desktop environment, Teledark. I think we still need to install some of these, some of the theming. I think some of the theming's a bit off here. Memory usage, a little under 2 gigs. Oops. You know what? Let's do AP2. Nah, we'll do HTOP. I was like, oh, we could do bash top. But I don't even have the repo loaded. Well. All right, what in the world? We got a spammer. Goodbye. Oop. Oh, no. All right. Ah, there we go. That cleaned it up. Sebastian, I tell you, you and your experimental. You know what? Why not? We could finish this out. With that, 2 gigs is not too shabby. And it's not great either. But I mean, it is GNOME after all, which is a bit more bulky than your usual. This? Oh, okay. What is up with that? Huh. Okay, yeah. Keyboard didn't seem like it was working for a minute there. I mean, it is still in experimental stages. Let's see how it does with the... Okay, cool. I was like, is it gonna kill that workspace? Kind of neat. Alright. So if I kill the middle workspace, move down. Yeah, okay, cool. I was just seeing how it cleans up workspaces automatically. So the spammer is memeing about a meme in India. Oh, okay. Oh, man. I tell you. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to finally get to this, explore this aspect of it. Again, what we're looking at here is material shell. So if anybody wants to try this, let's say if you're a GNOME user, this is really just an extension. You do have to have a relatively newer OS, so probably like Ubuntu 20, Mint 20, Pop! OS 20. I love that they finally matched all the numbers up with those. That's nice. But something newer. Obviously, the base stable version of Debian, the GNOME was too far out of date. But newer gnomes, newer gnomes. But GNOME version, I think 3.34 is a minimum for this, as it states down here. So that's what most of the stream was just sitting here. Yeah. Right here. Stable version of GNOME was 3.30, which was really old. And yeah, now that we're on SID, we're on this version. Which version of GNOME are we on since we're using SID? Let's find that out. I'm kind of curious. We are in 3.36, so of GNOME. Pretty cool though. That worked out well once we got everything in. If I send you a Starbucks card, can you plug my distro? So, this is funny. I always get a lot of sponsored emails. Usually, you know, sponsored video for YouTube sponsors, like, you know, that whole, this video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, blah, blah, blah. Check out the worst mobile game ever to hit the market and then spend billions on marketing for every single YouTube channel known to man. By the way, I get like literally 3 to 5 Raid Shadow Legends emails alone a week from 3 to 5 different companies. It makes no sense to me. They literally have an infinite budget on marketing. I don't get it. Anyway, I digress. But needless to say, you get a lot of crap for all kinds of things. Not to say to plug a distro's crap. I mean, honestly, that's more something I'd be game for. But yeah, some stuff about YouTube just drives me crazy. The sponsors are so limited, and the stuff you get, a lot of it's just garbage. It's just like, I can't deal with this. I'm out. So it's getting late. I've almost finished my cup, and we finally got our thing going. So if anybody has any final questions, let me know down in the chat, and we'll get those answered. So thank you all for coming out for the stream. Where do you live these days? Dallas, Texas, man. So I love Dallas. It's nice. It's a little hot right now. I wish I had a pool, but I don't. And that really sucks today. But, you know, life goals. I still love where I live. Dallas, Texas is great. Which I'm in a suburb of Dallas, Texas. So it's fun. Sebastian, we're going to have to hold off and wait for Debian Experimental because it's already past midnight here. I do have a video dropping tomorrow called Linux is Not for Everyone. And I memed the crap out of the thumbnail. Y'all will probably laugh a little bit, but watch the video. You'll appreciate what I try to accomplish in that. And it's more of just being honest with folks and just letting them know what's up. So, yeah, you know what? Let me show you this. Let me just show you the thumbnail for tomorrow's video because this one's a fun one. Twitter.com. Where am I? Did I get I got it right on the first one. I need to change my tagline. I think that's actually another person's. This is tomorrow's thumbnail, by the way, guys. Bam. So, yeah, the title of the video is Linux is Not for Everyone, and that is my thumbnail for tomorrow's video. My favorite comment from this whole one's from Jason Evangelo from Linux for Everyone. Oh, man. I absolutely love it. That was so great. So anyways, that's tomorrow's video. I had a little fun with it. It's been a while since I've done an opinion piece, I'd say. But this was more of just being real with folks and just saying, hey, here's the roadblocks to Linux. Here's the roadblocks I ran into. Here's the things about Windows or Mac that you might like. Here's the things you should probably be doing in those operating systems to get ready for Linux. And yeah, it's a fun video. I had a good time with it. And most of it I spent on the desktop. I really like showing people what I'm trying to say because Lord knows you get me talking and you just put me in front of a camera without an actual desktop to guide me. I just sit here and ramble. All sweet nothingness. So no more Twitch. Everything's on YouTube from now. This stream will be archived over on Titus Tech Talk, the secondary YouTube channel. Obviously, long form content on YouTube's terrible idea when you already are curating short 10 to 15 minute clips like I do on YouTube. So this is going to go to unlisted. I have been recording the entire time. I take this recording, chop out like the starting screens, and if I haven't, I think I have an ending screen that we could show. But I usually chop out the end and the start, and all of this will be uploaded to that channel, so you'll be able to get all that. Need your face on the cat. Oh, yeesh. Well, I think I still have time. Look at the clock on that video, by the way. Oh my lord. Is that guy back again? I need to. Thank you, Mitchell, for taking care of that. Oh lordy. But yeah, no. I check it out if you want to watch anything from the replay. Most of this, I don't know. I was supposed to be an hour-long live stream. It ended up being almost 3 hours. I need to work on that. Next time I'll do better, for sure. But with that, guys, thanks all for hanging out, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Take it easy. Where's my end screen? End screen? Nope, that's the wrong desktop. Smooth. Later, all. Have a great weekend.